Yesterday, I told you about how male suicide rates are a dirty little secret in North America, with 3/4 of suicides in Canada being attributed to men. And in a display of what can only be called ignorance, the mainstream media has once again completely shut up about the issues that men can face when it comes to mental illnesses when they have the opportunity to expose them. Not only this, but they completely ignored a story about an aspiring left-wing politician bullying a conservative woman over male suicide. Earlier this week, Saskatchewan-based conservative senator and mental health advocate Denise Batters was bullied online over her husband's suicide that resulted from a long-fought but lost battle with depression. What's more is that the person bullying Batters was an ex-NDP candidate and staffer, Brian Sklar. Here, look at this purely demeaning and evil post where he calls her a Harper troll and suggests that she only got her job because her husband committed suicide. Just so disgusting. And he didn't even stop there. He continued to harass her and post more. He did apologize later, but can we really believe that he's sincere? Now look at these headlines, which, by the way, I counted 4 of them at the time of the airing of this video. This one says only that Sklar was a former staffer, but misses that he was an NDP candidate, volunteer, and also ran in a municipal election. This guy could have been working with Batters had he been elected. And this headline highlights the lone public apology coming from the Saskatchewan NDP from their interim leader in 2 sentences. The rest of the article is about a caucus shuffle. The mainstream media will 100% report on Bell Let's Talk and mental health issues when it comes to minorities and women, but there's almost absolute silence when it comes to male suicide rates and a left-wing man bullying a conservative female. Not only is the media ignoring a serious issue, but do you remember the headlines when left-wing politician Sandra Jansen received some mean tweets? For goodness sake, she was even given a special security detail over it. The media and the left called this misogyny and demanded apologies and for people to pay attention, including the interim leader of the Progressive Conservative Party at the time, Rick McIver. Denise Batters doesn't fit the victim or character mold that the media-friendly politicians like to portray, though. Sklar mentioned Batters won her seat in the Senate over her husband's death, which by mainstream media standards would also be labeled as misogyny, by the way. Now, Batters is a lawyer that's done just a top-notch job of exposing Justin Trudeau and the Liberal Party's involvement with the Trudeau Foundation, named after Justin's father, who seemed to have very close ties with the government that appear to be unethical. In fact, I used some of that research in one of my own reports. It was just so good. Honestly, the work she's done on this file alone is enough to show that the foundation that claims to be independent basically churns out government appointees. That's a big deal. Just recently, she pushed Trudeau to close loopholes in the Canada Elections Act so that funding from foreign entities could be cut off and stopped from influencing Canadian elections. She's absolutely no slouch, and she's good at her job. I'd actually say she's exceptional, and she deserves her position without question. Notably, the CBC didn't run one article on this, the CBC that ran countless articles about Jansen. Could it be because Batters is a conservative woman that doesn't back down from holding the Prime Minister's feet to the fire? The mainstream media love to run stories about bullying, sexism, inclusiveness, and diversity, but they chose not to shine a light on the comments made by a former NDP candidate to Denise Batters on the eve of the anniversary of her husband's death, even though it fit every single one of their narratives, except that she's a conservative female. So much for not being biased. For the Rebel.media, I'm Holly Nicholas. Thanks for watching. Make sure to hit the subscribe button so that you don't miss out on the other side of the story in Canadian news that you're just not going to find anywhere else.